right, here we go.
We talked a lot last year about the strength of your running backs, but it seems based on what the offensive coaches have said all fall that this year could surpass anything that last year's group would do, which would be exciting. How do you see your room?
I got a good group of guys. I'm fortunate enough, this team is fortunate enough to have those guys in that room, man. These guys are hard workers, man. They bring their hard hat every day. They're very disciplined. They pay attention to detail. And these guys each of them have their own individual skill set that they bring that can help us. So I'm pretty excited about this room. I mean, we got like 3 or 4 guys in the room that can really go and contribute and help us.
In your offensive system, you guys are required to catch a lot of passes. Is that something that each one of those guys coming in possess, or is it something you're working on to get? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So each one of those guys, our offense, man, we're required to do a lot of things in the backfield. Like I tell the running backs, we're an extension to the O-line pass protection. We're an extension to the wide out group, and of course we have the job of running with the football. And all those guys possess those skill sets of catching the ball out the backfield. All those guys got decent hands. They're good guys. They, rock runners. We can go win a one-on-one matchup with a weak side linebacker or a weak side safety. So that's another element that all those guys bring in the room.
One of the things that Coach talked about, maybe it was late last year, this spring, that was surprising to me is that the person who takes the most punishment on the field is the running backs, because they're in on every play. They take a hit every single play. Is the depth key for you in that room?
Always. I think running back position all over the country is you got to have good depth, and you got to have guys in there that got good skill set. And Coach is absolutely right. I mean, like I just said, we're an extension to the other 2 positions on the field, which is the offensive line, tight ends, and the wide receivers. And like I said, either we run the football or we pass pro. So yeah, we're going to probably bang every play.
So a little bit off, but how about as a former quarterback, how do you see the progress of the quarterbacks going along this year?
I mean, all of them. I see all of them making plays. And I don't really look at them. I mean, because I'm honed in on the running back group. But I mean, I take a peek every now and then. The ball thrown there. All those guys got great potential throwing good balls, man. All those guys got the ability to scramble and actually extend plays. So I mean, I'm excited about that group too as well.
Hey, Coach. So how has Zoo been able to recover from the wrist, and how has he kind of progressed here from spring into fall?
We've been kind of taking it slow with him, but he's doing everything he's supposed to do for his rehab and his strengthening. He's doing well in the weight room. We get reports from Joey, our strength coach in the weight room, and then actually on the field, he's actually been coming along real well. I mean, he's doing everything live. So I'm pretty sure that he'll be ready to rock and roll with the strength of his wrist and his shoulder.
And then you bring in CJ here this off season. He's kind of been the showstopper. We're seeing him in the highlights, 75-yard toe to start the spring game. What have you liked from him in your time with him so far? And do you see for him to have a potential Devin Singletary FAU type season?
Yeah, CJ, number one, he's a student of the game. He wants to understand the reasons and the why, and he's very detailed. That's number one. And then his physical ability, like you say, you've seen him in the spring, break 75-yard runs. He's always doing it in practice. He has the home run ability, which we have. And so we're looking forward. The sky's the limit with CJ, based upon his want to get better. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy that, hey, coach, explain to me why are we doing this, or when I run this play, what's my reads and stuff. A kid like that wants to know those type of things. Once he figure out, okay, this is the answer to this front, this is the defense role, the safety role on this side, he's able to hit those home run balls because he's anticipating where the runs is going to hit. So,
with your redshirt backs, Jamari and Xavier, what have you seen from them here in this camp, and is there a potential for them to make an impact here in the future?
Oh, yes. I'm very pleased with those guys. Jamari Sand, Xavier Terrell, Those guys, they played for us last year at the end of the year. They had played against a good two-lane defense, had a good run against Rice. And Jamari Sands, man, been pouring it on since the spring. I'm very pleased with him, what he's done in the weight room and also on the field. So those guys are going to be big for us as well this year.
How much do you kind of see that running back room taking more of a lead back type of role, or is it going to be consistent rotation?
We'll see as we get a little bit closer to the season. But I'm like this as a coach. The way the room is designed, I mean, whoever's in is the guy, and whoever's in, they understand what the standard is and what the expectations are. So, I mean, as we get closer to the season, we'll kind of figure that out week to week through game plan.
Something that I've noticed over last year and into this year is the difference from last year's room to this year's room is more big play potential coming out of the backs. How does it feel being able to just have speed and explosiveness all around and really pairing that into a strong run game, and then, like you said, bringing them into the pass game as well?
Well, again, I mean, we got the guys now that, like you said, that have the home run ability. And what's more impressive with those guys, the understanding and the student of the game. I mean, when you come to our running back room, it's very detailed, and it's because of them asking the right questions, and so they want to know, okay, coach, versus this front, what do you anticipate this run is going to hit, whether it's outside zone, inside zone, gap scheme. And again, as well, I mean, these guys already have a good skill set where they can catch the ball out the backfield, and we can use them, spread them out, use them on the flanks. We can use them, again, coming out the backfield one-on-one with safeties and we side backers.
How important to you is it to have running backs with a high receiving upside to really just make a safety net for the quarterbacks if the pocket collapses and they just need quick yards?
Man, but the old scenario, the best friend to a quarterback is a running back, either through running the ball or check downs, you know what I mean? So that right there opens up the offense even more when you got backs, again, that can come out the backfield, or you can line them up in the slot, or you can line them up outside wide, and they have the ability to catch the football and basically become a receiver. So that opens up the whole entire offense.
Coach, there was a snap, and I think it was in the inside run drill towards the beginning of practice where Tyreek kept the ball and had a pretty nice run. How much easier does that make your guys' job having a quarterback as a running threat, that the defense has to worry about?
Of course. I mean, when you're talking about this zone plays and reading that backside in, when you got a quarterback that's a dual threat like the quarterback that we have, I mean that helps us out in a real tremendous way, because now the defense has to freeze that backside in, or that back, or whoever has quarterback responsibility. He has to freeze for a moment, and while he's freezing, we can kind of cut off that guy, get behind those guys, and again, I mean, what we have personnel wise, I mean, the sky's the limit with this offense, with the quarterbacks and the running backs and the O-line that we have. So I'm excited to see how this team is going to play this year.
You mentioned earlier you see your room as kind of like an extension of the offensive line. Can you kind of explain what that relationship is?
Oh, well, it's an extension. Number one, we don't make no big runs without the line, right? And we have a thing here where when we do have a big run and we score, first thing we do, we go hug a big guy, right? So that's how the relationship with the offensive line, we're hand in hand with them. When you talk about schematic-wise, you're talking about in pass protection, right? Well, we're an extension to the offensive line, meaning, well, we all got to protect the quarterback. We're in the six-man protection type of deal, and we protecting the quarterback, and we become basically that sixth offensive line. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean, that we're an extension to the offensive line.
I got one. So I asked, I can't remember who I asked, Fry or somebody. Last year, Coach Herman, you may have even said something. I don't remember when you were in the media sessions, but duct tape together. That was the term that was used to describe Larry and Kobe at times. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just wasn't a good situation. We were hobbling guys out. One guy gets off this week because we're going to try to get him healthy for the other one, and the other one. It was just not. Can you contrast that with what you're able to pull from this year?
Well, I mean,
just the depth in general, and
right,
just the overall health of the group.
Correct. The depth we have, I think we're. I mean, you had, for example, right? You start with the young guys, right? You get a young guy like Xavier Terrell, Jamari Sands. They were young guys last year, right? And so when you come in as a freshman, things are kind of moving around with Larry and Kobe. Kind of say, are these young guys ready yet, right? So now, fast forward, right? You got Xavier that played early last year. You got Jamari Sands that came in. Right now, he's having a tremendous spring in the camp. It creates depth. Now you're seeing what these young guys can do and how they can contribute, right? Health is always going to be the biggest issue when you play in any sport, right? And so now the comfort level that we have in that room is that, okay, now we got a Jamari Sands running. We got a Xavier Terrell that's running now. Still we got a Zuberi, and still we got CJ. So the depth that we have now, we got like 4 or 5 strong. Mm-hmm. Compared to last year, we got hurt early last year, in camp.
Yep.
And like you said, the duct tape mentality was, okay, this week is a high ankle sprain,
yep.
Chip rib or whatever the case may be. This year is more of a comfort level. Knock on wood, if we do get those type of injuries, the young guys now is a little bit more ready and more prepared to go.
But overall, much healthier and in a much better position.
Overall, much healthier.
No duct tape required.
No duct tape required.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Coach, I'll wind up with this, and I meant to start with it. In my memory, this is the first year that we've had 2 guys on a watch list for anything. Same to you? Do you remember any one of?
I don't remember not coming in. This is not offhand. I can't remember.
I don't remember anyone either. All righty.
All right.